For years, they mocked him as a junk mechanic surrounded by scrap metal and impossible dreams. Then one ordinary afternoon, a convoy of NASA engineers arrived at his forgotten garage, uncovering a genius hidden in plain sight and changing everything forever. The town of Red Creek sat quietly on the edge of the Arizona desert, where old pickup trucks outnumbered luxury cars, and dust storms arrived more often than tourists. Among the weathered buildings stood a tiny garage with faded paint and a crooked sign that simply read, Mason's Auto Repair. Most people barely noticed it anymore. Those who did usually laughed. The garage belonged to Ethan Mason, a 48-year-old mechanic with rough hands, grease-stained jeans, and a reputation that followed him everywhere. Locals called him the junk mechanic because he spent his spare time collecting broken engines, damaged electronics, discarded machinery, and rusted metal parts from scrapyards. To many people, his property looked more like a junkyard than a business. Teenagers driving past often joked about it. Wealthier customers chose modern repair shops across town. Even some fellow mechanics mocked him openly. Ethan doesn't fix cars, they would say. He adopts dead machines. Yet Ethan never argued. He simply smiled and returned to work. What nobody knew was that behind the garage, hidden inside an old warehouse, he was building something extraordinary. For more than 20 years, Ethan had lived a life defined by disappointment. As a young man, he had dreamed of becoming an aerospace engineer. He excelled in mathematics, physics, and mechanical design. Professors believed he had a brilliant future ahead. But life had different plans. His father became seriously ill during Ethan's final year of university. Medical bills piled up. The family business collapsed. Unable to afford tuition, Ethan dropped out just months before graduation. The dream ended. At least that was what everyone believed. While others moved on, Ethan never abandoned his passion for engineering. Every evening after repairing vehicles, he returned to his warehouse and continued learning. He studied advanced textbooks. He watched lectures. He built prototypes from salvaged materials. Year after year, he transformed discarded parts into experimental machines. No investors funded him. No universities supported him. No government agencies noticed him. Still, he continued. The warehouse became his private laboratory. Old aircraft components hung from walls. Computer systems assembled from recycled hardware filled workbenches. Hand-drawn blueprints covered nearly every surface. Shelves overflowed with mechanical parts that looked worthless to ordinary people but priceless to Ethan. His greatest project occupied the center of the building. It was a compact propulsion system unlike anything he had ever seen. The idea had emerged after years of studying energy efficiency and aerospace engineering. Ethan believed existing propulsion systems wasted enormous amounts of energy. He developed a unique design that could theoretically increase efficiency while reducing weight and operational costs. The concept sounded impossible. That was exactly why he loved it. For 6 years, he refined the design. For 4 more years, he tested prototypes. Many exploded. Many failed completely. Several nearly burned down the warehouse. Yet every failure taught him something valuable. By the time Ethan turned 48, he had created a working prototype that exceeded even his own expectations. Unfortunately, nobody cared, or so he thought. One hot summer afternoon, Ethan was repairing an aging pickup truck when 3 black SUVs rolled slowly into the parking lot. He barely looked up. Visitors were rare, and expensive vehicles were even rarer. The doors opened. Several men and women stepped out, dressed in professional clothing. Their expressions were serious. One carried a tablet. Another held a portfolio case. Ethan assumed they were lost. "Can I help you?" he asked. A gray-haired woman approached first. "Are you Ethan Mason?" "Yes," she smiled politely. "My name is Dr. Rebecca Lawson." The name meant nothing to him. "We've been looking for you." Ethan wiped grease from his hands. "For what?" The woman exchanged glances with her colleagues. "Because we believe you may have solved a problem that some of the best aerospace engineers in the country have been studying for years." Ethan laughed. "You must have the wrong garage." But they didn't laugh. Not one of them. That was the moment he realized something unusual was happening. Dr. Lawson explained that her team represented NASA's Advanced Propulsion Research Division. Months earlier, a technical paper had appeared online through a small engineering forum. The paper described a highly unconventional propulsion concept. Most readers ignored it. A few dismissed it as fantasy. But several NASA researchers noticed something different. The calculations were remarkably precise. The theoretical models were unusually sophisticated. Most importantly, the data suggested the author had actually built and tested a prototype. The author's name was Ethan Mason. At first, NASA assumed it belonged to a university researcher or industry specialist. Instead, their investigation led them to a tiny garage in the Arizona desert. Ethan stood speechless. For years, nobody had taken his work seriously. Now NASA engineers were standing in front of him. "Would you show us the prototype?" Dr. Lawson asked. His heart pounded. The request felt surreal. Slowly, Ethan led them through the warehouse doors. The visitors stopped almost immediately. Every corner revealed evidence of extraordinary technical expertise. Complex simulations filled computer screens. Detailed engineering diagrams covered entire walls. Prototype components sat carefully organized on work tables. The NASA engineers began exchanging surprised looks. Their skepticism faded quickly. When they reached the propulsion system itself, silence filled the room. Several engineers walked around it carefully. Others reviewed testing records. One researcher spent nearly 20 minutes examining performance data. The longer they studied, the more amazed they became. Finally, a younger engineer lowered his tablet. "This can't be right." Ethan's stomach tightened. "What's wrong?" The engineer looked directly at him. "If these numbers are accurate, your efficiency improvements are beyond anything we expected." Another engineer nodded. "We ran independent simulations before coming here. They produced nearly identical results." Dr. Lawson smiled. "Mr. Mason, I think you've accomplished something remarkable." For the first time in decades, Ethan felt seen. Not as a junk mechanic, not as a failed student, not as a dreamer chasing impossible ideas, but as an engineer. The following weeks transformed his life completely. NASA specialists returned repeatedly. Additional testing confirmed the prototype's performance. Research teams evaluated every aspect of the design. Experts who initially doubted the project became some of its strongest supporters. News spread quickly. The same townspeople who once mocked Ethan now watched television interviews discussing his breakthrough. Reporters arrived daily. Scientists requested meetings. Investors called constantly. Yet Ethan remained unchanged. He continued repairing cars. He still greeted customers with the same humble smile. And he still believed that curiosity mattered more than recognition. Months later, NASA announced a collaborative research partnership based on Ethan's technology. The announcement attracted national attention. Headlines celebrated the mechanic who shocked the aerospace world. But the story wasn't really about engineering. It was about persistence. For 20 years, Ethan worked in obscurity. For 20 years, people underestimated him. For 20 years, he refused to abandon a dream simply because others considered it impossible. Success did not arrive because circumstances were perfect. It arrived because he continued moving forward when nobody was watching. On the day the partnership became official, Ethan stood outside his garage and looked at the old sign hanging above the entrance. The paint was still faded. The building was still modest. The scrapyard behind it remained full of discarded parts. But now he saw something different. Every broken machine represented potential. Every failure represented a lesson. Every challenge represented an opportunity. The world had called him a junk mechanic. NASA called him an innovator. The truth was that he had been the same person all along. Only now everyone else could finally see it.